Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos. Today I have for you a really fun deck. It's a beatdown deck. The Kaiba skill. It's super fun. It basically runs a bunch of level 5 and level 6 monsters, and the way we summon them, we don't tribute. We actually use Amarylease, which you can banish from the grave, and it lets you summon a monster with one less tribute from your hand. So I got asked if this deck was wallet friendly, and I definitely think it is, and this is why. The only thing you need to run this deck is Amarylease, either Needlebug Nest or Magical Merchant. I have both because Magical Merchant is good for its own reason, that you'll draw into a spell or trap, but a lot of the times it won't mill you that many monsters, and Needlebug just will mill whatever from the deck. It'll mill 5 cards. So that's all you need. Everything else, it's up to personal preference. Just whatever level 5 or level 6 monsters you want to use. I use Fiend Mega Cyber because it's also a special summon if your opponent controls 2 more monsters than you do. And I also use Dust Knight just because I can send Amarylease directly to the graveyard. I also run one embodiment of Apophis, which everyone should have, just in case I draw all tributes, and that way I have something to defend myself or to tribute for. But let's go ahead and get into this replays. This very first replay I'm going to show you, I was super excited about this win. This were all in silver 2 and 3, by the way. So I go up against a Bandit Keith that is using a full switcheroo relinquish deck, which kind of bothered me a little bit because I was like, why would you run a tier 0 deck this low on the ladder? So anyway, excuse me. So he summons Senju, searches relinquish, standard play. I go into my Dust Knight so that I can dump my Amarylease in the next when it's flipped. And this is the cool thing about the Fiend Mega Cyber, because he does have 2 monsters on the field now. I'm gonna be able to special summon him, and then once Amarylease is in the graveyard, I'm gonna be able to summon either Grass Chopper or the other Fiend Mega Cyber, and I'll be able to use Beatdown. So he just goes for the Sonic Bird. He doesn't summon Relinquished. I expected this game to be a loss, and you'll see how close of a game it was. So I draw into Mephist, which it's actually great because I end up summoning him. Anyway, I banish Amarylease from the graveyard. That allows me to summon Mephist without a tribute, and because I want to get cards out of his hand, I want to get rid of some of his resources. So my attack does go through. He discards the relinquish, which I was super happy about that, and then I just go for the attack on the Sonic Bird. He goes Security Orb, and I'm not sure why he didn't use that on Mephist. I don't know why I guess he misplayed. He maybe didn't remember what Mephist effects was. But anyway, he goes for the Thunder Dragon play to get an extra card of standard Bandit Keith shenanigans. I think he goes for the relinquish here. I can't remember correctly. Let's see. Oh no, he summons Jerry Beansman and sets 2 back row. He goes for my Fiend Mega Cyber, which I just let him destroy. And I draw into Magical Merchant, so I set that immediately. That way I can try to mill another Amarylease. And I go for the Mephist attack. He lets the attack go through once again, and this time I discard the Thunder Dragon. So not a huge minus for him, but still a minus. Here he finally goes for the relinquish. He activates Black Illusion Ritual. Dumps Possess Dark Soul because he knows I don't have any lower monsters, and takes my Mephis, which I'm actually okay with this play since I do have Fiend Mega Cyber that can get over that relinquish. That's why it was weird to me that he didn't use Security Orb on Mephis and then just take Fiend Mega Cyber. So unfortunately I don't get to mill any cards from Magical Merchant. That's what I was telling you before. I immediately draw into one of my traps, but that's okay. It's still kind of a 1-for-1 situation. So I set Needlebug Nest and I special summon my Fiend Mega Cyber. I then go for Monster Reincarnation to grab my Dust Knight. That way I can for sure dump Amarylease the next turn. I use Beatdown to boost my Mega Cyber to 2500, and he activates Interdimensional Transporter on his relinquish. So my attack still goes through, but unfortunately he's going to be able to take my Mega Cyber next turn. This is the really cool and interesting thing about this deck. I didn't realize how well it counters relinquish. Because any monster that you summon, it's gonna get that 300 attack boost. So even though Millennium Scorpion, it's 200 less attack than Mega Cyber, after Beatdown I'll be able to get over it. So I drop my Amarylease, activate the effect and summon Millennium Scorpion, and I also drew into Mirror Wall, which was great. I set that and end my turn. I didn't attack because he could have taken my Scorpion, since he's relinquished would have stayed on the field. So he sets 2 back row. I draw into Embodiment, and he immediately goes for Interdimensional Transporter on my end phase, so I didn't get to do any damage, and he's gonna steal my Millennium Scorpion. So as you can see, this is a full tier 0 relinquish deck. Literally every card that's on that deck, except for Gearfried. I haven't seen Gearfried in the deck. He tries to play around Windstorm, so I'm able to keep my Apophis on the field, and I summon Air Knight. I activate Beatdown and I go for his Gearfried. Unfortunately he does have another Security Orb, so I don't get to destroy it. But I have Mirror Wall, so I'm still feeling pretty good. And also he's used both of his interdimensional orders, so he can't take my Air Knight. He goes for the attack with Gearfried. I activate Mirror Wall and I get to draw a card, thanks to the battle damage that Air Knight did, which is enemy controller, and this actually allows me to win the game. I draw Windstorm, which doesn't really matter that much, just extra protection. I activate Beatdown, I go for the Gearfried, my attack goes through, and at this point I know he doesn't have a Karibo, so I'm able to go for the enemy controller play for game, which was super satisfying to be able to beat this relinquish deck. Because come on, who uses meta in silver ranks? I guess actually, now that I say that, I guess a lot of people do, because my very next replay I'm gonna show you was the very next game, and it's actually my Valentine with Harpy's Hunting Ground. So I had to go up against meta back to back. Let's go ahead and see this replay. Alright, so I go first and I decide to just end my turn, I believe. I didn't want to set Windstorm or Mirror Wall because it didn't make sense to me just getting a pop. So she goes for Sonic Duck and attacks for 1900. Um, I draw into Amarylease, which is great. I get to set it, and I end my turn. So she immediately goes for Relinquished, which I was like, really? Back to back Relinquished? But anyway, he takes my Amarylease. Fortunately, I have Windstorm, so I don't take any damage. And next turn, I'm going to be able to go into Fiend Mega Cyber since he does have 2 monsters. So I go for the Fiend Mega Cyber play. I set Mirror Wall and I set the Amarylease, destroying the Sonic Duck. I was gonna summon Mephist, but I thought his face down was Order to Charge, so I didn't want to risk it. And here he just flipped Relinquish into attack mode, knowing that if I attack with Fiend Mega Cyber, I'll lose because I'm gonna take whatever damage I deal to him. So instead, I attack with Mephist. I lose 1800, but I get to destroy a card from his hand. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I then go for lethal with Mega Cyber, and she flips Mirror Wall, but it doesn't really matter at this point. My advantage is pretty high over her, and I also have a Mirror Wall just for backup. So she just sets one card, which I assume to be Windstorm. So I switch my Mega Cyber into defense, and sure enough, it is Windstorm. She activates, it doesn't matter. My Fiend Mega Cyber goes in for the kill. So that was back-to-back wins against meta decks. Something I did not expect. I guess I got sort of lucky in the games. But that's our second replay. Let's go into a third one. I'm not gonna explain too much on this third one. That way I can maybe sneak in the fourth replay. Again, I'm not trying to make these videos last too long. But hopefully you guys like this deck and decide to give it a try. Like I said, it's very flexible. You don't have to go exactly by what I used.
I will defeat you.
Let me turn off the character line so the replay goes by a little faster. So he sets one monster. I set 2 back row and one of my Amarylease. One of my back rows is Needle Bug Nest and the other one is Windstorm. I sacrifice for Millennium Scorpion, attack over his Behemoth, and he tributes for Blue Eyes. He uses a Stamping Destruction on my Needlebug, so I just chain to mill 5, hoping to get another Amarylease in the graveyard. He doesn't attack, Fear in the Mirror Wall, so I draw into another Millennium Scorpion and I'm able to summon it by banishing the Amarylease. I go for Beatdown, being able to get over the Blue Eyes and attack directly for 2600. He activates Destiny Draw. I'm thinking he went into the Windstorm. Instead, he got half shot, so he's able to stall for 1 turn with Cobra Jar. And I flipped my other Millennium Scorpion thinking I was playing around Windstorm. So anyway, here I have 2 level 5, so I actually summon my Amarylease in attack mode, because I know it's going to get a 600 boost and it can get over that Cobra Jar. He activates Mirror Wall, but it doesn't matter because I still have enough attack to get over all of his monsters. And at this point, there's nothing he can top deck to win. Sure enough, he just ends his turn. I summon Air Knight, kind of just BMing him a little bit and attack for game. But look at that last turn board, 4400 on that Millennium Scorpion. It's pretty crazy to get a 900 boost. So let's go into our last replay, which is this one, I believe. I hope that's not the one I just showed you. Yeah, no, this is definitely another one because it's gonna be from my opponent's point of view. So it's a Yummy Yugi using Power of Dark. I go first. I set a monster which I believe is Amarylease, and yeah, and end my turn. He goes for the Element Doom. I set another monster, being Merchant. He summons Display Rider, which is gonna allow his Element Doom to attack twice. and he nearly has game on me. I survived with 400 life points, but I did draw into Windstorm. So I set 2 and I go for the Fiend Mega Cyber play, special summoning him, and then normal summoning Mephist. I destroy his Disc Blader, he saves Element Doom with Kuribo, and then he goes from Wing Minion, being able to banish 3 and summon Necroface. He tries to attack my Mephist, but I have Mirror Wall, so he ends up losing a card. And I go for Windstorm to get his Necroface into attack mode, activate Beatdown, destroy Element Doom, and then I go for the Econ play for game. So that is it for our last replay. Again, I really recommend you guys try this deck. This deck is super fun. I played 5 games with it so far, and I yet to lose a game. So please try it out. If you don't have a certain card and you're looking for, and you're not sure what to replace it with, please comment, and I'll be glad to suggest you a replacement card. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you want, and until next time.